All right, so Taylor Swift's Midnight's album, I think it's sort of a perfect example of how to take two competing ideas and make them work in harmony. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Evan. Today I'm going to be reacting to some album art, some album design, and some album packaging by Taylor Swift from the Midnight's record. And we're going to be talking about trying to take two sort of competing ideas and making them align perfectly, which is what I think that this album does very, very well. So let's get into it. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is one of 4 different covers that they did, and if you put them all together on the back, it makes a clock. Very clever, very fun, and this is the perfect way to sell basically the same product 4 different times, so kudos to the record label on that for making some change from it. Right off the bat, guys, this style of design is known as Swiss style, and the Swiss style characteristics are kind of known for like easy readability, cleanliness, minimalist, with a really strong emphasis on typeface, specifically sans serif typeface, and kind of having everything align in a perfect grid structure, which this definitely does. Swiss style is super, super common now in album art, single art, poster design. So one thing that's kind of interesting here that I noticed right off the bat is that modern Swiss style, especially what I see used a lot in music right now, is really heavy on the use of illustration, the use of typeface, like we said, the use of colors, patterns. It's not necessarily heavy on use of a photograph, though. And when I do see a photograph being used, what typically happens is it's kind of altered in a way to make itself feel like more in line with the design. So like, you know, altering colors, doing kind of like maybe like a halftone pattern thing to it. But I haven't really seen it used as much where you just kind of take a photo and plop it on there. But I think this works very, very nicely together. And I was kind of looking at this earlier, looking through it, and kind of seeing why this works so perfectly. Because essentially it is kind of these two sort of competing ideas. So I think that the reason that this works so well together is the use of the photograph themselves, and here's what I mean. So Beth Garabrandt shot all the covers, and it's this very cinematic, very natural feel that sort of contrasts the design elements in a sense. But it does it in a way that it makes it interesting and it makes you intrigued by it. So let's take a look at some of the photographs on Beth's website here. Like everything very much lives in this cinematic world. We're kind of inside this house. Definitely some retro vibes going on. Ethan Taubman's production design here is really, really beautiful. All of these photos really pull you into the world that revolves inside of this album. And it definitely focuses on the narrative that Taylor's trying to tell here. I love the retro vibes here. I love the color of her outfit mixed with this you know, tile pattern on the floor here, the wood panelings on the wall. Very, very reminiscent of something you would probably see in like the 1970s, early 80s maybe. But photography-wise, man, I love how cinematic it is. I like that it's kind of slower shutter speeds. Not everything's in sharp focus. I love the harsh shadows. It sort of feels like a perfect photo of insomnia. Like if somebody asked me to like give them a visual reference of what insomnia feels like, I would hand them this for sure. It just kind of feels like you just can't sleep, right? You're just kind of staying up late, worrying about stuff, overthinking things. And all of these ideas elevated by these aesthetics are perfectly feeding the narrative of this entire album. So I think this works sort of in perfect harmony because the photo isn't competing with the design elements. The photo is its own thing, and the photo's really the one thing here that's really telling a story. It's really pulling you into the world that exists inside of this album and inside of this narrative. And I think it's done in a very, very beautiful way. I really do like how they kind of leaned into this whole Swiss style thinking here and didn't make the photo a full frame, but they placed it on a grid. They didn't design the elements around the photo. They let the photo live on its own, and I think that's very clever. I think that's very contemporary, and I think it's used perfectly here. So this packaging art direction was done by Joshua Sage Newman and Bethany Newman. The packaging design itself was done by Parker Foote, and the creative direction for the entire packaging was done by none other than, of course, you guessed it, Taylor Swift herself. Man, gotta give her props. Like, she is super hands-on with this stuff, directing the music videos, handling creative direction, packaging, and I'm sure she's involved in much more than that. Yeah, guys, very, very beautiful stuff. All very, very well thought out, very perfectly executed by Taylor and her team. So side note, guys, if you guys are into this kind of Swiss style design, you guys need to check out a designer named Mike Joyce. Mike works a lot in the music industry. I don't have any affiliation with him. I just think he does like amazing work. So check him out. Google Mike Joyce stereotype in New York City and prepare to be impressed. So that's what I thought about Taylor Swift's Midnight's album, packaging design, album design. Let me know know what you guys thought. Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys found this video interesting, please like it. If you guys find this channel interesting, please subscribe. It really helps me. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.